Stop crying, wipe your tears.
Let me tell you about Jada. When Jada was a kid, she learned early that silence was safer than speaking up. Her dad was the loudest voice in the house, always complaining, always finding something wrong. If dinner wasn't ready the way he liked it, or the house was too loud, he'd let everyone know, with sharp words and heavy footsteps. Jada's mom? She never said much. She'd sit there, eyes down, still as a statue until he was done. And when he walked away, she'd quietly clean up whatever mess he left behind, like nothing ever happened. Jada noticed real quick that when she cried or showed she was upset, her dad's frustration shifted to her. "What are you crying for? I'll give you something to cry about," he'd snap. Jada's heart would race every time. But before the tears could fall, her mom would lean over and whisper, "Shh, be quiet, baby. Don't make it worse." And just like that, Jada learned to swallow her feelings because her mom did too.
Stop crying, wipe your tears. Can't show.
Years passed, and Jada grew up. She thought she left all that behind, but somehow it followed her. Looking back at her relationships, she started to see a pattern. Boyfriends who never let her speak her mind. Anytime she brought up how she felt, it turned into an argument. "Why do you always got to make a big deal out of everything?" they'd say. And Jada? She'd fall silent, just like her mom did. It wasn't just them, it was her too. Jada realized she didn't know how to handle conflict without feeling small. She thought love meant keeping quiet to keep the peace. But the real wake-up call came when she had her daughter Ava.
Stop crying, wipe your tears. Can't show.
One day, Ava spilled juice all over the kitchen floor. She was only 4, but Jada had been having a rough day. Her frustration boiled up quick, and the words left her mouth before she could stop them. "Ava, stop crying. It's just juice." Ava froze, tears brimming in her eyes. Jada saw the fear flash across her daughter's face, the same fear she used to feel. And in that moment, Jada felt like she was looking at her younger self. She wanted to apologize right there, but she didn't know how. "What do I even say?" she thought. She felt stuck, caught between the way she was raised and the way she wanted to raise Ava. Later that night, Jada called her mom. She told her how she had snapped at Ava and how bad it made her feel. Her mom chuckled softly. "You turned out fine, Jada. That's just how it is sometimes. Kids can't cry over every little thing." Jada stayed quiet for a moment. She thought about all the years she held things in, all the times she stayed in relationships that hurt her because she thought silence was strength. "I don't want Ava to turn out fine, Ma," Jada finally said. "I want her to feel safe enough to cry." "I didn't." Her mom didn't say much after that, but Jada could tell she wasn't ready to hear it. The next time Ava cried, Jada did something different. She knelt down beside her, wiped her tears, and said, "It's okay to cry, baby. I'm sorry I got upset before. I want you to tell me how you feel." Ava blinked up at her, surprised. "Really?" "Really," Jada said, pulling her close. "Oh, you can always tell me how you feel. I'm listening." And just like that, Jada felt a small weight lift from her chest. It wasn't just for Ava, it was for the little girl inside her who never got to hear those words. Breaking the cycle wasn't easy. But Jada knew she had to do it. She wasn't just healing for herself, she was healing for Ava too. How would you address this situation if you were in their shoes? What steps would you take to face the challenge head on? Are you ready to start breaking generational chains in your own life? Find out by playing Generational Chain Breakers, the groundbreaking card game by LV Davis. Dive into real-life scenarios and discover how to overcome the patterns holding us back. Plus, Enjoy the Generational Chain Breaker soundtrack, now streaming on Spotify and all major platforms. Start your journey today because breaking chains begins with you.
Told me not to cry. Told me not to cry. Told me not to cry. Don't you cry.